and welcome to the currently unnamed wrestling podcast from Bottom of the Barrel Games. We present it, presented by us. Hello.
Keep it.
Hey, up, how you doing?
More thanks. How are you, Tom?
I am good. You know why I'm good?
Why? Tell me.
Because I just watched NXT TakeOver Unstoppable. That's a lie. I watched it when it came out, like a normal person. You just watched it, though.
I didn't even watch the whole thing. I watched the main events.
Oh, God. Okay.
I wish I watched the whole thing.
Well, first of all, let's just explain what this is, right? We do game streams on Twitch, and then we take the videos and we put them on YouTube, and that's what we do in our spare time. I had an idea to maybe play WWE 2K15 when it came out on PC and talk about wrestling while doing so. Unfortunately, WWE 2K15
It's a piece of shit.
well, no, it was always going to be a piece of shit. That's part of the charm. But
That's true.
it came with all the DLC, including the thing that unlocks all the whole roster, right? It was advertised as coming with the whole DLC, and I own the DLC for it. But see, the DLC for it isn't out, including the roster unlocker thing. So we couldn't really do that unless we played as like the same two characters over and over again. So we're gonna worry about that at a later date when WWE 2K15 sorts its shit out. We're gonna start streaming this, playing the game. But in the meantime, I want to talk about wrestling regardless.
Yeah. I'm up for it. I always like to talk about wrestling.
Okay. Well, let's go over the contents of the show, shall we? We got
Let's do it.
NXT TakeOver Unstoppable. Then we're going to talk about most recent Raw and SmackDown and the card for Elimination Chamber. Make some predictions, and that's pretty much it.
I like it.
Let's talk about the state of wrestling. No, let's not.
Okay, that's not.
All right, so NXT TakeOver Unstoppable. Let's go over the card. We got Finn Balor versus Tyler Breeze and Hideo Itami. Bailey and Charlotte versus Dana Brooke and Emma. Baron Corbin versus Rhino. Blake and Murphy versus Enzo Amore and Colin Cassidy. Sasha Banks v. Becky Lynch. And Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn. So you only watched the last two matches.
I also watched a bit of the end of the tag team match, which is pretty cool. Like the bits I caught because I was kind of having breakfast while doing it, so you know what I mean. I caught bits of it.
Fair enough.
Pretty cool.
Okay. Well.
Wait, Rhino? Did you say Rhino?
Yeah, Rhino.
Is it the Rhino from old?
It's Rhino.
Like the olden days?
It is Rhino from ECW from WWF.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I know. Okay. I realized that I've never really been a huge Rhino fan. He doesn't do much. He
doesn't.
Whenever he gets a mic, he's super generic wrestler, and I'm gonna kill you and stuff.
His spear's not bad.
Yeah, and he's got a nasty spear, the gore. But apart from that, it's like, I don't know. Maybe I just missed the Rhino heyday. But hey.
Honestly, my first thing of Rhino that I remember is him losing to John Cena in a match where John Cena looked really good and Rhino looked like a piece of shit.
I remember him as helping Edge and Christian in the TLC match at WrestleMania 17, I believe. That's what I remember Rhino from. And he was hardcore champion, I think, for a little while. Anyways, so we got Finn Balor versus Tyler Breeze and Hideo Itami. Now, Hideo Itami was actually injured beforehand.
Which is a shame. I like him. He's cool.
Yeah, and so the match was all of a sudden not a triple threat anymore, and you could tell that it was very last minute because it really hurt the match, I reckon.
That's a shame.
Yeah. There was one spot in particular where Finn Balor climbed up the entrance and like jumped off the top of the entrance onto Tyler Breeze, and it just looked like there was supposed to be two people to catch him. Like it didn't look like the type of spot that, but like that was like the big spot of the match, so they did it anyway. But look, hats off to them. I like Tyler Breeze. I like that his gimmick is completely ridiculous. I like that he comes out to the ring holding a selfie stick, like looking at himself on his phone.
Tyler Breeze kind of reminds me of like a mixture of like Tyson Kidd and Dolph Ziggler. Like that kind of douchebaggery.
Sure, that works.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That kind of douchebaggery.
Yeah. And they both had special entrances. Finn Balor obviously came out with the paint, and
I love Finn Balor's paint, but everyone does.
He had horns and wings now. He's evolving.
Ooh.
Yeah, and and Tyler Breeze had some of his special entrance. He had models come out. It was like a runway thing. I liked it. And apparently the phone that the phones they were carrying were all live streaming on Periscope.
Oh, okay, that's right.
So like,
that's cool.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, so Finn Balor gets number one contendership. Finn Balor versus Kevin Owens for the NXT title. We've seen it already, but I felt like it was kind of brushed over before, so I'm happy that like we're gonna see it again, maybe at a takeover this time. But good match, I think. Despite the fact that it was it did feel like it was missing something due to Itami.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. It would have been hard to like fix it up on the and kind of just do it on the as well.
Also,
just make it up. On it.
Also, I've heard our theories around the internet that they're setting up the long game. When Itami comes back, they're going to set it up that Finn Balor took him out. Those are.
Oh, really?
I heard that theory, and I like that theory, and I hope that theory comes true. I like that a lot.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Next match. Bayley and Charlotte versus Dana Brooke and Emma.
Also, wasn't Emma in WWE like not long ago?
Yeah, she was, but she's back in NXT now, and I think it's a good thing because
she got dropped.
Because like they weren't doing anything with her in WWE. Like she actually has matches now. Anyways,
that's good.
Yeah. Two things about this match. Dana Brooke, please keep all microphones away from Dana Brooke. She is so bad on the mic. I don't know if it's a thing she's doing or like that's actually her voice, but like she talks like death and I can't listen to it. It's like literally if you're trying to do like the Valley Girl thing, it's like that but with like more of a lisp than usual, and it's just and the touching of herself is like I get the gimmick, but it's like maybe just dial it back just a little bit. That's my advice, Dana Brooke. But on the bright side, Emma, guess what? She wasn't doing that fucking dance.
Oh, thank God. Oh, thank God.
I like her as a wrestler, but goddamn, that fucking dance is just
it's bad.
I don't know how to comprehend it. Like it's how I don't have any words for it. It's just the worst. I have no idea. Anyways, whatever. And she's got new music now as well. So I'm pretty sure her and Dana Brooke, like it's like they made hers more rock because she's a bad person now. Anyways, cool. Bayley and Charlotte are two of the best wrestlers in the division, so I mean they fucking tore it up. And Dana Brooke, I don't know if she's been actually wrestling for long, but she seems kind of green. She
Dana
seems
Brooke?
Yeah, she doesn't seem as experienced as the others.
It's very likely like
yeah,
NXT is meant to be like a place where they like get better and improve and whatnot.
Oh yeah. And listen, Dana Brooke,
it's expected to see less skilled wrestlers there.
If you're listening, I wish you all the best, and these are all constructive criticisms. Okay, and so cool. all in all, it was a fun match. Bailey and Charlotte went over. Babyfaces win. Easy enough. One thing I liked about that match, the crowd was chanting "Evil Emma."
Evil Emma, that's cool.
It's just sure. All right. I liked it. It was a pretty short match. It was only 6 minutes and 51 seconds. I actually counted.
Yeah.
I counted. I don't have that information in front of me. I counted and I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, not really.
You
much
didn't
to
even
say
use
about
a
that
stopwatch. You're just like 1,
match.
2,
Yeah.
3.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Next match: Baron Corbin versus Rhino. Now, I've been watching NXT since the debut of Kevin Owens, right? It's not that long of a time, but I've seen Baron Corbin. I'm gonna keep it Baron Corbin. I reckon it's a better name. I've seen him wrestle numerous times, but I feel like this is the first time I've actually seen him wrestle, because he's just been doing squash matches for like a couple of months. That's all he's been doing.
Fair enough.
And then, Rhino comes up and it's the first real threat. And I feel like they'd kind of set up a monster and they didn't really deliver when we actually,
They set up a monster in Rhino or in Baron.
Baron Corbin. And then they kind of didn't. And then kind of this match felt. To me, this was the worst match of the night. It was.
Fair enough.
It was slow, and there was some awkward botches, and
Thanks, Rhino.
and I really don't like Baron Corbin's finisher, the End of Days. I think no wait, yeah, the End of Days. I get confused between the End of Days and the Fall of Man, I think, which is the Ascension's finisher. Anyways, but it doesn't.
Anyway.
It doesn't. It looks like Baron Corbin is the one getting hurt in that move. Like it looks. It looks like a reversal. It looks like a reversal. I don't like it at all. Anyways.
The same thing happens to me with like DDT reversal sometimes, where like it turns into a spine buster, but the guy's head still goes into the mat, and I'm like, that's not a reversal. Your head's going into the mat. It would hurt you more.
Shut up. Just go with the kayfabe, mate.
Exactly.
All right.
Sorry.
All right. I don't really have much to say about that match, to be honest, other than it was kind of disappointing. All right. Blake and Murphy versus the realest guys in the room, Enzo Amore and Colin Cassidy. Not only do I obviously love Enzo Amore and Colin Cassidy, because they are like, aside from maybe Kevin Owens, they are the best on the mic in maybe the whole company. People love them. I do have fears about them, like when they eventually go up to the main roster, of people maybe not getting it, because like so much of their shtick revolves around the crowd being in on it. Because like if they come out and do their, bada boom, realest guys in the room thing, and the crowd,
No one gets it.
The crowd just doesn't get it. I feel like that would completely fall flat. So I have fears about that. But in the meantime, the NXT crowd loves them, and it's amazing. And Blake and Murphy, I actually also really fucking love at the moment. When I first saw them, I was just like, okay, these guys are kind of weird. They got dubstep music when they come out, and like
seriously, that's awesome.
And they both have ponytails, and I don't know, I didn't really get what their thing was, but this match in particular completely sold me on them, especially recently the stuff they've been doing with Carmella. So let me explain to you. Carmella, the valet, I guess, of Colin Cassidy, Enzo Amore, has been courted. They've been courting her, Blake and Murphy, and to piss off Colin Cassidy and Enzo Amore. And
I like it.
yeah, and then she told them to go fuck themselves essentially. And so in this match, they're having a good old match, and then it looks like realest guys in the room gonna take the titles, and who comes out but Alexa Bliss pushes Enzo off the top rope, and Blake and Murphy get the win. And it was the moment when they officially were like, oh, we're heels, and it was great. And Alexa Bliss was great as well. And more recently, on the latest episode of NXT, live on the WWE Network, Alexa Bliss, as she's like a mouthpiece for them now, which I think is good because I think
They're not great on the mic.
they weren't terrible, but not as good as Alexa Bliss. And like they had segments where they were like talking, they're talking to Carmelo and stuff, and they were funny in that. But I think on the mic, as in talking to the crowd, not so much. But yeah, so she's a great mouthpiece for them, and she sparkle splashed some guy, and it was great. So that's what I have to say about that. So Blake and Murphy still tag champs, and I think it should stay that way for a little while longer.
Well,
I love Enzo and Big Cass, but I think Blake and Murphy should hold the titles for a little longer.
So as I said, I caught very small parts of this match. There was this one spot that I loved, where I'm not sure who was in the corner, but I think it was Blake or Murphy was in the corner of Enzo Amore and Colin Cassidy, right? And the guy was like punching him.
Yeah.
They do the tag, and then the guy like pulls him to the corner. So Enzo or Colin like run to the other corner, taunt either Blake or Murphy, whoever is there, and then run back and jump on. Well, Blake or Murphy, depending on who else is there. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, I know what you mean.
It happened about a part right through the match. Maybe you can describe it a little better because I don't know anyone's name. But yeah, I enjoyed that.
Big Cass is the big one.
Yeah, I still can't remember who was who, but yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully other people who are listening to this understand that spot, but I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, I think I love those guys. And Enzo, I've heard people talking about Enzo kind of improving because he was not a wrestler before he came to NXT. He actually worked at Triple H's gym and like gave him like a tryout tape or something, and Triple H was like, "Yeah, sure, come to NXT."
That's
yeah,
cool.
but like I didn't know that, and I hadn't noticed him being not good at all. So I've always liked him for the past couple of months I've been watching. Anyways. Next match, my favorite match of the night, the longest match of the night, in my opinion, the true main event, Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch.
It was an amazing match. This is the best Divas match I have watched in a very long time.
I was thinking about it. It might be the best one I've ever seen. It was one of my favorite matches that I've ever seen. I've watched it 5 times. I'm not kidding you, 5 times.
Okay, I haven't watched it that many times.
You've watched it once, yes, I know. But you only just watched it. I don't expect you to watch it more times in the space of time.
I genuinely enjoyed it. It's the best Divas match I've seen in a long time, possibly ever. There was one spot where they fucked up, but that's about it. Sasha Banks dives through the middle ropes and lands on Becky Lynch, and it looks like Sasha Banks like hit it, and then Becky Lynch like stands back up and is holding Sasha.
I think they saved it well enough. I think
it was alright, but
would have been better if she caught her in it. That is the only chink in that match. Other than that, I have no complaints at all. It was great.
I haven't really commented much, but I really enjoyed how they were both submission wrestlers and they were both trying to like hurt each other's particular body, mainly the arms.
The arm, yeah.
To get into like a submission move instead it hurts more, and like how this match kind of told a story. I really like that.
Yeah, exactly. It was a story, the psychology, the selling of the arm. Even when Sasha Banks eventually wins the match. Oh yeah. Okay. But when she eventually wins the match, the ref goes to raise her arm. She says, no, other arm.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
good.
exactly. It's
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 the
just the
little
small
things that
things, but it
count.
was
Yeah.
so good. Um,
And
yeah,
the other best thing about the match was how literally everyone in that room was a Becky Lynch fan by the end of it. Like the fans,
just quickly,
yeah.
I just want to give like the biggest shout out to every single NXT fan. That is one of the best crowds I've ever heard for a WWE crowd. Do
Oh
you know
my
what I
god,
mean?
yeah, they
Like
were so
they were
into
just
it.
into everything,
Yeah,
and it was great. Like they were chanting the whole time.
yeah,
That's how a crowd should be. Like,
I agree.
yeah,
I agree. Um, yeah, it's that crowd. I just love how like it's when it started, everyone like people were firmly in Sasha Banks's corner, and then by the end of it, like there was a spot early in the match where I think maybe they're like hitting each other, doing the back and forth, and the crowd's like yeah boo, and then they go back and do something similar again later on, and the crowd
it's
has
like yeah,
flipped.
yeah.
Yeah, it's incredible,
I
and
actually loved how the crowd was split as well.
yeah,
How both were liked.
that that
Yeah,
that brings up something that I want to talk about. Having matches where the face and the heel is not so black
clear.
and white. Yeah,
Yeah.
I really miss that. It's like bring up the Attitude Era because everyone brings up the Attitude Era, but that is you know that is possibly
Tom.
the best thing about the Attitude Era is when like it wasn't like good guy
So black
versus
and white,
bad
yeah.
guy. There was a lot of gray in it, and I really liked that about.
The gray area is what makes it good because it, rather than turning people into like, yay, this guy, boo, this guy, it turns more into like half the people like this guy and half the people don't like
Yeah.
the other guys, so that the crowd
Yeah.
is split rather than completely liking one guy and like
Yeah, and
not having such polarizing figures.
and look, obviously, I do like certain complete faces and complete heels. Like, obviously, Daniel Bryan is maybe the most completely face in the history of the world, right? Not a single person in the
That's
world does not like Daniel Bryan. And also, Kevin Owens right now is maybe my favorite heel, and Seth Rollins is fantastic.
Oh,
as a
bro, I
heel.
love Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
And the fact that this part Armenian just makes it better. I had to put that in there.
They should put Seth Rollins on the Armenian flag, I reckon.
No, not that part.
What's on the Armenian flag right now?
3 colors: red, blue, and orange.
Okay, well look, you can that's too much like Ireland, okay? So
What?
it's got orange. I don't it's too much like Ireland. So I say put Seth Rollins' face right in the middle, and then maybe put like the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, and maybe his old beat up Money in the Bank briefcase as well.
Throwing his NXT title on there as well.
Yeah, his NXT title. I reckon.
Just all his accomplishments. And in the background, there's like Triple H smiling.
Dude, I would want that to be the Australian flag. It would make no sense, but I would want that to be the Australian flag. Seth Rollins' face and WWE World Heavyweight title, and the NXT title, and his old beat up briefcase, and maybe some reference to the Shield. I think. Now that's a flag that a country can be proud of.
That is a fact. Forget the Southern Cross.
Yeah, fuck that.
We want
Yeah.
the shield.
Stars. Yeah. I think that. What we're even fucking talking about. Oh yeah. So
Bases and hills.
yeah.
And yeah.
So yeah, I really love that about that match. And I was talking about this recently with someone. I can't remember who. It's probably you. Paige recently on SmackDown cut a promo in which she referenced Botchamania. Unfortunately, it was cut out. But she also implied that Tamina was a man by saying maybe she's competing in the wrong division. And it was so fucking mean, and I loved it. And like,
Good. Paige should be mean. Like,
yeah, and Of course, she fucking hates him. What? It'd be mean. And then like on Reddit, people were like, "Oh, that's too far." You know, is she? Who are we supposed to be going for? Is she a face or what? And I stuck up for Paige or the writers or whoever was responsible for that line. And I said I like that she's not necessarily a good person in this current iteration of her. She's just happens to be the person that I feel like people relate to the most in this current circumstance. But I like when the characters are not necessarily good or bad, but what changes is the circumstances that changes who you're going for. Anyways, but yeah, Sasha Banks versus Becky Lynch was amazing. That full stop. And also, I said full stop, but now I'm going to keep talking about it.
Also, yeah, I was going to comment as well, but you go first.
Corey Graves, who I think is maybe the best on commentary in the entire company. I liked that he started off like a bit of a JBL, like he was like, because it's long documented in kayfabe that he doesn't like Becky Lynch. But he like starts off making jokes about what is this steampunk night? She looks like she's out of a, you know.
Yeah, I noticed that.
And then he's like, "You ever seen The Fifth Element?" Like he's cracking jokes about her new look. And then by the end of it, he's just like was entirely like, "Holy shit!" Like he became a fan of her that night in kayfabe at least. I don't know what their real life relationship is. I have no idea. But yeah, great match.
I was actually going to say. It's about the intro as well. Like, what's the word? When you come out to the stage and
entrance.
Her entrance. I loved it. I loved Becky Lynch's entrance. It's an amazing entrance.
I hope I'm assuming they are keeping the whole steampunk thing because she dyed her hair. I doubt they do that for one match. And apparently, she updated her like Twitter and feed or whatever with like updated pictures of her, which makes me think they're keeping that gimmick. So hopefully the entrance
would be reasonable as well.
With the smoke machines or whatever they were as well. It was very edge.
It was.
I liked it.
I liked it as well.
Okay. And then finally, the last match of the night, Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn for the NXT Championship. So, first of all, this match, I want to preface this by saying it's not as good as the first match they had, and it was never going to be because Sami Zayn was injured. Everyone knew that going in.
Yeah.
So it wasn't.
So that wasn't just kayfabe.
Yeah, no, yeah.
It wasn't just a kayfabe.
He's actually out right now. I think he's getting surgery.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
But I think it was smart of them doing what they did because they couldn't have a proper wrestling match, just kind of, turning into a brawl essentially. And
I liked it as well.
I liked it because look, there was no way Sami was going to win. He's injured. They can't carry that. He needs time off to, recover, But
yeah.
So he was never going to win, but I liked that they gave him the upper hand for so much of that match until Kevin Owens hits him with that powerbomb on the apron. And I think that does justice to both characters, I think, because it doesn't make anyone look
weaker,
bad. Makes everyone looks good in that instance. That being said, I think what people are going to remember about that match is not the match itself, but Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe. That I was pretty I'd heard rumors that Joe was going to.
He was in. I heard rumors as well, but I was like, yeah, I'll believe when I see it. And I had no idea that it was making appearance. I was like, is that Samoa Joe? And then I see his shirt and Samoa Joe, and I'm like, it is Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
Samoa Joe.
Oh my god, that was amazing.
I'm really hoping that in their match, or I was actually hoping that when they're like head to head. I was really hoping Kevin Owens would like headbutt him, and then that you can't headbutt a Samoan thing. I was really hoping that would happen, but if they have a match, I hope that a spot like that happens where you can't headbutt a Samoan.
Yeah, that'd be good. No, And Kevin Owens, like, he steps down, walks away. And he's like,
Yeah.
he says something. He's like, you're
He's like,
lucky. I'll get you next time. Something like that.
he's like, I did what I was going to do. I'm watching
Yeah.
you. Stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. He comes out on NXT the next week and says that he walked away because he thought he'd just let Samoa Joe have his little moment, and then he was gonna kick his ass another time. I love that. It's just
That's good. Yeah.
it's so heel. It's just amazing.
It
It's
is.
like, oh, I could have kicked his ass. Just I didn't really want to at that point in time. It's amazing. I love it. I love it a lot. Yeah. Any other thoughts?
It was a good. I enjoyed the match in general. I thought it was a bit weird that it was just a pounding, but now that you said that Sami Zayn was injured, it makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
I enjoy the finish. How Kevin Owens just like, yeah, fuck you, I'm gonna keep hitting you, type of thing.
I love Regal coming out and like pulling
Regal.
on his fucking nose.
Also, I don't know whether this is because Sami Zayn is injured or Cena's better at selling, but I honestly thought the powerbomb to Cena in the middle of the ring looked more painful than the powerbomb that Sami Zayn received on that night.
Oh,
Do you know what I mean?
The apron powerbomb.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's they did that spot before, and I think it looked worse the first time. I think it's probably just because like that apron, that's a metal bar on there, so they can't.
Yeah,
actually...
maybe he did it softer that time so that since Sami Zayn is injured, I don't know. Could have been lots of
the first time he did it on their first match, I think it was that one looked like it.
That looked brutal. I saw it in the promo.
Yeah.
I also love how Kevin Owens won the title through a knockout. I thought that's
through the refs kept pulling him back, and eventually like, okay, he can't compete anymore. Give him give him the title. Yeah, great.
I thought that's really cool.
And then what made it better is after that, no one saw Sami Zayn for a month. Like no one knew what was going on. It was great. Yeah, that's NXT. That's Takeover Unstoppable. Now on to the big leagues.
All right, just quickly. How would you rank? You watched all of NXT Takeover Unstoppable. You watched all of NXT Unstoppable. How would you rank it as a pay-per-view? Like out of 10.
Out of 10?
How would you rate it? Yeah, how would you rate it?
If I was going to go by the best match, I'd give it like 9 out of 10.
That being the Sasha Banks Becky Lynch match?
Yeah, but like average it out. The first match, like it was still good, but it's like it felt like you could 100% tell it was supposed to be a 3-man match. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Rhino versus Baron Corbin was not good at all. And then the rest of the matches, were good. So I don't know. I think 7 or 8. No, 8's too high. I think 7. It was really good. I think that's fair. I don't want to be too nice. Otherwise, I'll have nowhere to go when I see one that's better.
Exactly. Like you can have 2. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
All right.
I like.
So 11 out of 10. 16 out of 10.
It's like I started ranking way too high up.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like if NXT Unstoppable is a 10 out of 10, this is an 83 out of 10.
Yeah, yes. No, I'd love to see an 83 out of 10 pay-per-view.
I would as well.
No complaints about that. All right. So, Raw recap. You watched Raw more recently than I did. So, why don't you go over what happened on Raw? Because I'll be honest, I forgot a lot of it.
Oh, I'm not going to lie. I was hoping you would go over it because...
Oh, no. Okay, well...
I watched it, but I watched it while doing a lab report. Okay. For those who don't know, I do university work and I only do lab reports. I'm not in uni. I just like doing lab reports for fun.
Lab reports.
Yeah. So
okay. Well, Ambrose gets arrested, and then
that's right. Yeah, that's funny.
And then steals a paddy wagon to come back to sign the contract. And one thing I like about that, at the time, it made like no sense. It was great, but it doesn't make sense. He like stole a paddy wagon and drove back there, and Roman Reigns is out there beating people up for some reason. and like it's kind of implied that he was doing something for Ambrose.
Yeah.
But shades of Stone Cold getting the truck into the arena. I like that.
Yeah.
Um,
He's the most Stone Cold character we have since
Yeah.
like forever, I reckon.
well, since Punk, I guess, would be the most
Yeah, I guess.
common.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
I like to think as Punk is just Punk though. Anyways,
Honestly,
Um,
I see Punk as a different grade to Stone Cold. Like, I can see how they can be compared, but I see Punk just as good, but on a different
he's
level. Do you know what
He's
I
his
mean?
own
Like,
thing. Yeah.
he's his own thing. I
Yeah.
see Ambrosie a lot. Ambrose is a lot more like Stone Cold. Do you know what
And
I mean?
Yeah, and I think he as a wrestler is not necessarily like. I think he again is kind of he's doing his own thing, but I just think at the moment the way he's being booked is very Stone Cold.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So that was great. I love that. What I liked more specifically about that was when like the whole cameraman incident and then the YouTube video happens to pop up and it's just the most cartoonish thing.
It's so comic, yeah.
Seth Rollins became a cartoon character in that moment. Like he snuck up behind him and like pushed him and like ran away. Like he may as well have been like twiddling his mustache. Like it was, I loved it. I thought it was so dumb but so good. It was amazing. I loved it.
It was good. It was good. What else happened? There was a Rusev Lana thing. So-
Okay. Yeah, you explain this one.
Should we do this in order, or should we just keep going like randomly?
I
like
reckon
we're
the
out there?
order that we remember it in is the order.
Okay. So there was the Rusev Lana thing. So Rusev's like, Lana, please come to the ring. And Lana comes back, and they have a whole moment. And then Rusev's like, I'll forgive you completely. Just say the 3 magical words. I was wrong. And I absolutely, I loved it. I cracked up.
I genuinely did a spit take at that. I took a sip of water just before he said it and had to spit it back out because I was laughing and it was great.
I cracked up and like just
His
Rusev's
face.
facial cues. Yes, his facial cues.
At first I was worried when like him and Lana
Rusev had the mic.
were breaking up and like I was like, oh well, now he doesn't have a mouthpiece. You know what?
Yeah.
Perfect. Put him on the mic all the time. I think it's better when they're at each other, so that way they're both promoting each other, I guess. But yeah,
no,
I think
yeah.
the only thing I don't like about this angle at the moment is that Lana has yet to start dressing like Dolph Ziggler. I think that'd be amazing. If she
Also-
recently when she started doing like the Fandango dance,
Yeah.
like, and it was
Yeah.
kind of like this like timid thing at first, and she like gets into it. I would love to see like an entrance where she comes out with Dolph Ziggler and like timidly starts like doing the same thing and then like
That'd be funny. Yeah.
I think that'd be really funny. And like
Um,
dressing in like the 80s hair metal clothes, like acid wash denim and all that. I love
I
it.
also find it hilarious how when Lana and Dolph Ziggler kissed, Dolph Ziggler's hair was like in the same hair bun as Lana, so it kind of looked like Lana was kissing a slightly taller, darker version of herself.
I didn't notice that, but great.
Like, because I wasn't paying complete attention because I knew what was going. Like, I could kind of tell what was going to happen, and then that happened. I was like, wait, what? Do you know what I mean? Like, I looked up quickly and I looked back down. I was like, wait a minute, what? And I had to look back up, and
Yeah,
good stuff. Good stuff.
good stuff. Okay,
What else?
I think okay. New Day
I
did
also
something.
Wait, just quickly with this feud,
Yeah.
the only thing I dislike about this feud is I feel like this is setting up a Dolph Ziggler versus what's his name, Rusev kind of feud,
Yeah.
which as much as some great matches will be put on, I'm kind of annoyed because it means that neither of them are I doubt either of them will be in like title contention. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And they'll kind of be their own little thing, and yeah.
I
Do you get what I'm saying?
I agree with you. They probably won't give him the title for that feud, but honestly, I kind of would like if they did if the title was involved in it.
You'd like it if the title was involved?
Yeah,
Yeah, so would I. But my point is that because they're gonna have their own little feud, they don't need a title
Yeah,
for it. Do you know what I mean?
yeah. Lana is the prize. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
yeah,
which is kind of annoying, but I don't know. I'm sure. Hopefully, they put on some great matches and it'll be worth
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. New Day. That's right. The New Day. Who are also amazing. Um, they had a 3-on-10 handicap match with every other tag team, which lasted all of 2 minutes before everyone just like jumped on Xavier Woods and it just turned into a brawl. I thought that was amazing. It was
To be
the New
fair,
Day.
if I had the chance, I'd jump on Xavier Woods as well. He seems like an asshole.
he's he is awesome. He's just
He
awesome.
probably is awesome in real life, but like
Oh,
he's
yeah.
doing a great
He-
job as a heel.
He is amazing. He
Also,
plays such
Kofi
a good
Kingston.
loudmouth.
Kofi Kingston. I'm so happy he's finally a heel. Like I can't remember the last time. I don't think he's ever been a heel.
Yeah, Kofi was one of those guys for me for a long time where I appreciated his in-ring skills, but him as a character, I just never cared about.
He reminded me a lot of Shelton Benjamin, where he was a beast in the ring. He could do everything,
Mm,
but
yeah, the character.
he was just kind of there in the background
directionless.
and
Yeah.
directionless.
And he always
which-
and whenever he was in like a Money in the Bank ladder match, he would also always
have
do
an
some
amazing
insane
spot.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
And in Royal Rumble matches, even he's got amazing spots.
Yeah,
but,
like he did the thing where like he landed on one foot and got back in the ring or something.
the Cesaro one at the which one? What was it at? Was it the
You tell me.
Andre the Giant? I think it was at the Andre the Giant Battle Royal,
Mm.
but he runs at Cesaro to like when Cesaro's stuck in the corner, and Cesaro picks him up and launches him over the corner,
Yeah.
and then he just lands on the stairs
Yeah.
outside.
Oh yeah.
That was a very cool
That was
spot.
good.
But yeah, he's got some amazing spots throughout his career, but he's always just been so directionless, as he said.
Yeah. So
So
yeah,
I'm happy he got something going for him.
yeah, me too. Neville and Bo Dallas had some sort of okay. Raw and SmackDown right now are melding into one show. In my mind, on one of them, Neville was in a match and Bo Dallas was on commentary, and Bo Dallas should be a full-time commentator because it was the funniest thing I've heard.
I do-
since
I
CM Punk
didn't
on
watch-
commentary.
I didn't watch SmackDown, but I can believe that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can believe Bo Dallas is hilarious at commentary.
He
He's
kept
great all the time.
he kept calling Booker T Mr. T.
Really?
It was so good. Oh,
Oh.
it was fucking hilarious. It was so good. And his whole angle of like
Believe.
of his angle of saying that he's trying to help Neville by having him overcome odds by fucking injuring his leg and all shit like that. But clearly just being a heel cunt, I think is great. I think Bo Dallas is an amazing heel. And I like that they're having somewhat of a NXT championship rematch between Neville and Bo Dallas. I like it. I think that's pretty much
Also-
all that's worth talking about. Oh, other than
No, just quickly with Bo Dallas and what's Bray Wyatt. You know they're brothers.
yeah,
I feel like if you were to ask both of them which one the lame brother is, they'd both point at each other. Do you know what I mean?
sure. Neither
I
of
don't
them
know
are
why.
lame. Neither
Yeah,
of them are
yeah,
lame.
yeah. Like I imagine Bo would just point to Bray and be like, "Look at his neck beard. Look at his fedora. He's the lame one." And then Bray would point at Bo and be like, "Look at his
Look how
fucking
wet his
beard."
hair is.
Yeah, and how wet his hair is and everything.
Yeah.
I imagine their
Really.
family dinners are hilarious.
Sure. I in my head they're in character for their family dinners.
Exactly. No, in my head, there's no way they're not. And their mother's really weird and like.
Yeah. I love it. Okay. Yeah. So I mean, other than that, the
Kevin Owens destroying Cena.
the US Open Challenge. I love the US Open Challenge. I love
It's amazing.
what Cena's doing. I think it's like the perfect place to have him because I think Cena. Obviously, there's always been a lot of Cena hate. Well, not always, for a long time now. But in my head, it was or at least the reason I wasn't. I was kind of like, not a fan of Cena for a while was because he was always in the title picture, and it got so boring because it was like a lack
As
of
Cesaro
creative.
said,
It's like we've seen this 1 million times.
the Randy Orton versus Cena match
Mm.
has been seen so many times for the title. Like, it's
Yeah,
insane.
yeah, and so I think this is the perfect place to have him.
Yeah.
I think
The only
this
thing
is
that's worrying me is, so Cena is against they're building like the Cena is against the odds against Kevin Owens, and I really don't want Owens to get buried. I don't want that to happen.
okay. We'll talk about that when we go into Elimination Chamber, but I don't see that happening, and if it does happen, I'll be very upset. Put it that way. Zack Ryder, I thought it was nice to see him on WWE television. I forgot he
I know,
existed.
right? Fuck.
He did a 450
Entourage,
splash, which was surprising.
Entourage was amazing in general.
Yeah,
The Entourage
big
crew.
Entourage fan over here. I've seen one episode, maybe.
Have you?
It was alright, I guess.
It was alright, yeah. I enjoyed their backstage bits where like Turtle is like, yeah, she put me in an armbar in the movie. It was fake, so it didn't really hurt, but I'm sure it like killed you. It looked like she was actually gonna break her arm.
Yeah.
And then Steph's like getting angrier and angrier.
Yeah, I liked what they referenced when Jeremy Piven was on the show before SummerSlam, and he called it Summerfest. I thought it was great they referenced that. They were like, oh, Jeremy Piven could be here, but he's preparing for Summerfest.
It's cool because it seemed like they're actual fans. At least Turtle seemed like, or at least their writer or something seemed like they're actual fans rather than people who are just promoting the movie. Obviously, they're just promoting the movie, but yeah. You know what I'm saying.
Maybe they are also fans, and it just so happens that worked out for them. Yeah, I concur. And Kevin Owens just is amazing week after week. He came out on SmackDown wearing that Champions Here shirt, the John Cena one, and it was hilarious. And he spent a bunch of time on the mic, and I'm sure it was great. I can't remember it all that much, but I mean, that's just SmackDown and Raw for you. Now, my favorite part of the show, I assume, hasn't happened yet. Predictions for Elimination Chamber.
Yes. So
what do you?
We should go over the card first.
First of all, do you predict it's going to be good or bad?
Honestly, I'm hoping it's going to be good, but I'm expecting to be disappointed.
Okay, I've noticed the WWE with their
one good, one bad, one good, one bad.
Yeah, I think
exactly, which is why I feel like this one's going to be bad.
See, this isn't technically a pay-per-view though, because it's only on the WWE network.
Ooh.
So but then that means Money in the Bank is going to be bad. Anyways, I think it's going to be good. I mean, if you look at the card, I mean that looks like an amazing pay-per-view. Network exclusive.
We should probably say what the card is for our
never. I refuse.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay.
All listeners.
yeah. Fuck yourself. Okay, first chamber, right? IC title: Sheamus, Ryback, R-Truth, King Barrett, Rusev, Ziggler. Now, Rusev, for the uninformed, got injured on SmackDown. I don't think it's been confirmed whether or not he will
be in the match.
Yeah, be able to perform at Elimination Chamber. So they haven't announced a replacement as of yet. If he has, I don't believe. But who do you think's gonna walk out with the title?
Okay, so before I say who I think is gonna walk out of the title, can I just say I hate the fact that R-Truth is in this match. No disrespect to R-Truth, but he's just not a threat. Do you know what I mean? Like when I'm like, who's gonna win this? I straight away cross out R-Truth's name.
I really hope he wins it now.
Hey, I was wrong about the Andre the Giant battle thing, and Big Show won that.
Here's the thing about R-Truth. Because he's been a jobber
exactly
for the last 5 years. He's actually been with the company for a surprising amount of time.
He's been with the company for a very long time.
Yeah. I didn't realize how over he was until SmackDown last week. He got the biggest pop of the night when R-Truth came out and people were doing the "What's up?" That was
yeah.
I just also with his rap thing at the start, I have no idea what he's saying. Other
Yeah,
than
but
"What's up?"
I listen to rap and I've got no idea what he's saying.
I'm pretty sure it's another language. I have no idea what he's saying. Anyways.
So
Okay. So who do you think's gonna win?
okay, so I want King Barrett to win.
Yeah.
Because I told you why. I want him to become the intercontinental king of the ring.
Yeah.
Or the worldwide king of the ring, you know, something like that. But I reckon Sheamus is going to win. Who do you think's going to win?
And
who do you want to win?
I think it's going to be Sheamus, and I want it to be either Sheamus or Ziggler.
Yeah. See, as I said, Ziggler and Rusev, I'm seeing them going into a feud, which is why I don't see either of them winning.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think that either of them will win, but I part of me wants Ziggler to win.
Okay.
Also, side note on Sheamus, I hated Sheamus. I thought he was the worst in the company.
Shit, yeah.
He was he was always all right in the ring. Like he wasn't like a bad wrestler, but his character was just horrible. And
it was Finley 2.0 and like
it wasn't even though. It was like if Finley was like a super nice guy that everyone loved.
Yeah.
I was like I didn't like it.
I don't know, it was shit. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
And then ever since he's come back, he's gotten his theme music has improved 2000%. His old one, something like literally the only thing people will remember from that old theme music is "It's a Shameful Thing, Lobster Head." That's the only thing that people will remember from that. It's just the most. It's funny because it sums up his character at the time. That theme music, it just kind of happened, and then it's over, and you're like, oh, okay, that's over now. Yeah. So his whole new thing being just a huge cunt with the ugly hair and. I love the whole thing.
Okay, honestly, the bead things, like the braids, they just piss me off so much.
Exactly.
That's what drives it over the top on me. Like, the hair I can live with, the beard I can live with, the braids, they just kill me.
They piss me off too, which is why I like it. I'm like, I see him and I want to punch him in the head, and it's amazing.
Honestly, if I was a face against him, I would start pointing at those braids, like mid-match.
Exactly. That'd be like some Jericho shit.
Exactly.
Be a face and be pulling someone's hair, essentially. Yeah. Okay. So you predict Sheamus. I also predict Sheamus. Yeah. Okay. Next match, Tag Elimination Chamber. I love that this exists.
Yeah, I can't believe they did this. I reckon this has a potential to be great or shit.
The only thing I'm sad about is that only two of the New Day will be competing in this, and someone's going to have to sit it out. I would have loved to see all three of them squished inside the pod.
I want to see that now. Because Big E is going to be in there.
Big E will take up the whole thing, and then just Xavier and Kofi just like smushed up against the glass.
I'm imagining like Kofi like hanging off the chains on the roof and like Xavier smushed against.
Yeah, I would picture it like they when they come out of their pod, like they someone pulls open the pod door and they like can't fit out the pod door because they're all trying to get out at the same time, and it'd be like a Three Stooges thing. Anyways. So I'm sad
that would be hilarious.
That's not going to happen. But honestly, the tag division right now is kind of awesome. It's so long. And it went from being really amazing. Bad to amazing really so quick. Quickly. Like it was Kid and Cesaro were doing a good job as heel champs, and then the Usos I've never been a fan of. I don't understand the appeal of the Usos. The Los Matadores are all right, but they're too cartoonish. I think like you can be cartoonish, but you gotta run with it. They just are cartoonish, and then they don't do anything with it. Like I don't like that. And I mean, what else was that? Was about it. And then a New Day came along, and then at first like they were I don't know if they were
Face
setting up for heels. They were setting up for being heels the whole time, or they thought, "Oh, if the crowd hates them, let's turn them heels."
I hope
But
they said crowd hates them, turn them heels because I've got more respect for them being able to change it on the fly to something great. And
fair enough, yeah.
you know
But
what I mean?
yeah, but like it's funny because at the time it was like fucking New Day, this is horrible, and
Yeah.
it just and now like looking back at it, it's perfect because they are such great heels. And the Lucha Dragons weren't doing much. They were on the roster, but they weren't doing much. But I mean, now, and the Ascension. Hopefully, the Ascension
Has a
gets
good
some
part,
time because I'm fans of their work in NXT,
Yeah.
and I think their gimmick is like pretty silly, but I like that.
No, fair enough.
And
I feel like there should be a couple. Not
they're like Mad Matt. You think they should be a couple?
no. I feel like there should be a couple silly gimmicks throughout.
Right.
You
Okay.
know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like
Yeah.
the
They're
people are just like what? But
To me,
Good.
they're like Mad Max villains. That's what they are to me.
Mad
But
Max, yeah.
yeah. I hope they get some time, and primetime players are back, and it's great. I don't know what else to say. I'm pumped for this match. Who do you think's gonna win?
Okay, well, I am a massive fan of Tyson Kidd and Cesaro, and I would love them to win. Like, fingers crossed, they win.
Yeah.
I would also love to see the Ascension win, just so that they get a push, or at least the Ascension get like a really big part in the match. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
My money is on the New Day, and I feel like whoever the third member is going to do something. Like whoever's on the outside of the ring is going to do something for them to win it.
Yeah. I also predict for New Day. I want the New Day to win because I think they make great heel champs. Part of me also wants Kid and Cesaro to win because I just love them.
Yeah. How
They're
can you
so
not
great?
love them?
Their fucking antics coming into the ring like they do.
Yeah.
Like the,
Exactly. So
And they
did you
come
see
out
that
wearing
thing where
beats.
Cesaro slid through Tyson Kidd's legs?
yeah, and
Yeah.
like he did like a Dragon Ball Z thing.
Yeah,
once,
exactly.
like,
Come.
it was, and it's amazing. It's just
Oh, did you see their brass
they
ring
gel
shirts as well?
so well. What's that?
Their brass ring shirts.
Yeah,
Those were cool.
yeah. I would buy Kid and Cesaro merch. And
it's some of the few, like, I find that a lot of WWE merch is shit, and they've got some really nice merchandise. Kid and Cesaro,
Yeah.
like, it's surprising.
and some of like the other thing with WWE merch for me, sidetrack. Like for example, I think look at Kevin Owens merch, right?
Yeah,
It
Kev.
works. It works so great on him, but I'd never wear it. Like it's
Exactly,
Not something I'd wear
yeah,
on. And like a lot of it, I think is because like it's inherently aggressive, and I don't know like I don't know if I'd want to be walking around wearing like an aggressive shirt. Like I don't know.
yeah.
Maybe it's just me, but you know,
Yeah,
I would actually wear Kid and Cesaro merch. Yeah. So I think New Day is gonna walk away still champs. And see, the other thing is, I also kind of I hope they spin this off into more tag rivalries.
Yeah,
'Cause
so do
I
I.
want to see more of this tag division, and I don't think they can just do like New Day versus everybody for
Weeks on end, yeah.
yeah. Okay, cool. Next match, my favorite. The match I'm most looking forward to. John Cena versus Kevin Owens in a singles match. I love this match. Feels like it has the most stakes when it's just a singles match. There's no title.
There's no title. Yeah, I actually love that there's no title involved and there's no anything
It's
involved.
champion versus champion.
And I feel like Cena will win because he's Cena. But I hope Kevin Owens looks amazing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I hope that he doesn't get buried horribly. I hope that they don't fuck up his character because I feel like Cena will win, especially since like the odds are against him now since Owens bashed him up twice. But I hope Owens looks good losing to Cena.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what I say.
I predict Owens will win.
Really?
I guess I'm giving WWE the benefit of the doubt this time. I think they're smart enough to know that Cena can take a loss. Owens at the moment, I think it would be
I feel like
Bad for him to take a loss.
I feel like it
at
would
the
be
moment.
bad for Owens to take a loss at this point in his career as well. But
Well, on this match, because here's the
yeah,
thing about this match. This match is Kevin Owens is like, if Kevin Owens wins, that is a huge statement about NXT, and I love the psychology of that. It's like, and it's like, which title is more important, the NXT title, and NXT
or
is
the
like,
US title.
yeah, and NXT is like, making
Waves. They make waves. Yeah.
yeah, it's making waves at the moment. And someone actually pointed out on Reddit that there are 5 of the six
NXT
champions competing at Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
I think that says a lot.
Yeah.
I think Owens is going to win, and I think I think just the whole psychology of it is great, because John Cena has been working to kind of give more validity to the US title, and then Kevin Owens is going to come along and step on it. And I think Owens is going to win. It's going to look great for Owens. Owens is going to go off and do his another rivalry in NXT. Cena's going to keep the US title, and I think eventually just a complete surprise, he's going to lose in US Open Challenge at some point. I think
that would be amazing if he just lost the US Open Challenge at some point.
I think that's what it's going to be. I think it's
if you didn't lose it at a pay-per-view and you just lost it at in a Raw, I reckon that'd be amazing. I can't remember the last time a title changed hands at Raw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Next match, Rollins versus Ambrose. I think, as much as I love Ambrose, I think they're going to keep the title on Rollins.
Yeah, I love Rollins as well, so I'm fine with that. I feel like Rollins is going to keep the title as well.
Yeah. I think they're going to keep the title on Rollins until Brock comes back, and they're going to do some storyline there. If they are going to do a thing with Rollins and Brock, though, I think they got to start making Rollins look like less of a weasel at some point.
Yeah. I really wish though that this was a Elimination Chamber match with like the 3 members of the Shield. Put Randy Orton in there, Brock, and I don't know, one other person up for the title.
Yeah.
Then just to see a spot where Rollins finally comes out and I don't know, he does something, and then
something.
I don't know, just something Seth Rollins-y anyway. And then Brock sees it, gets angry, and he's in the spot, and he's just like, fuck this shit. And he just starts pounding on the door and breaks out of his own cage to attack Rollins.
Okay.
You know what I mean? How sick would that be? Just
very
before
Goldberg-esque.
Yeah, very Goldberg-esque, where he's just this monster and he's trying to unleash himself, and he does.
I like it.
I reckon that would be amazing.
Yep. As far as the actual match goes, I'm sure it'll be good.
I reckon it'll be amazing. They've got some great chemistry.
We've seen Ambrose and Rollins a couple of times before, and I don't think I've seen a bad match between them. So
I also hope that Seth Rollins wins this cleanly. I hope that it's not because of the New Day or Kane that he wins this match. So becomes more of a valid champ.
Yeah.
I love how much of a weasel he is, but I also feel like he needs to be a valid champ and show that he is kind of there is an argument for him as the face. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay, sweet. And there are rumors of Triple H turning on him, which would make him a face. Maybe that's how he loses the title.
I'd be alright with Seth Rollins being a heel against Triple H, who is also a heel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I feel like Seth Rollins could be that heel that does that.
Yeah. Heel versus heel. I would love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Next match, Divas match, triple threat. Nikki Bella versus Paige versus Naomi.
Yeah.
I think, first of all, in my head, if I was booking this, Paige would be out for longer. Naomi would have the Divas title by now. She would, from now until SummerSlam, she would be wreaking havoc on the Divas division. Paige doesn't come back till just before SummerSlam, and then it's kind of who can stop Naomi? Oh, here comes Paige. That's what, if I was booking this, that's what I would do.
Yeah.
But I think it's interesting that they're doing a triple threat, because I don't remember the last time they've done that on the main roster.
I do this very I do this storyline a lot like the Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Chris Benoit storyline was. So Paige goes away, similar to Shawn Michaels, and then Nikki Bella like Triple H has the title. Naomi like Chris Benoit takes the title off him, and then Nikki Bella can never win it back. And then Paige comes back and wins it off Naomi. So it's kind of like this triple threat thing where Paige always beats Naomi type of thing, and Naomi always beats Nikki Bella. Nikki Bella always beats Paige. So like, there's a really big rivalry. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah. I like it.
I would try and have a book like that, but I'm interested in seeing a triple threat match. I don't know how it's gonna go. I hope that it's good, but
that pretty much sums up.
I always fear
every Divas match on the main roster.
Yeah.
God, I hope it's good.
Yeah.
I hope it's good, but there's a good chance it's not.
Yeah.
Like, just with the time restraints that they're given, and also, I don't think Nikki Bella's that good a wrestler, if I'm being completely honest.
I'll give her this. She has improved. She's improved quite a bit from, like, I don't know, like a year ago. She is clearly the better Bella. Like, she puts in work.
Yeah.
You can tell that she puts in work to become the better wrestler than her sister. And there was a point where I thought Brie was the better Bella, but I feel like Nikki is clearly taken over.
Yeah.
I dislike how Nikki has the rack attack. I feel like it's very...
Are we going to talk about dumb diva finishes?
Yeah. I'm going to talk about Naomi's as well. Like, the rack attack and what's her one? The rear view. The rear view, that's it. Honestly,
the butt smash.
Yeah, the butt smash. I was going to say that. Like, Nikki's isn't too bad. Like, just call it something else. Naomi's changing completely.
I don't mind the rack attack being called the rack attack. It kind of works with a character. It's like being like this bitchy queen bee kind of person. But I think when combined with the rear view, it's too much.
Yeah.
When you have those two finishes in one match, it's too much.
Yeah. I feel like the rear view shouldn't be a finisher. I feel like it should be more of a...
I wouldn't mind if that was a move in her arsenal.
Yeah, exactly,
a
move
to set up for something else, but that is not a finisher.
You know that DDT that Naomi does, and I actually love it, where she's on the floor, she grabs the head off.
The scissor DDT.
Yeah, the scissor. I love that move. I wish that
was her finisher for a week, I swear.
I know, and it was like a finisher for like 2 weeks, I remember, and it was an amazing finisher, and they took it away, and I was like, why?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Paige is right now by far the best diva on the main roster, best wrestler on the main roster in the women's division.
And honestly, part of me wishes that Paige wasn't in the main roster, just so that there were better matches in NXT.
I want them to call up. I think it's time Charlotte came up to the main roster. Like, obviously, when the thing is, like, with the divas, I want them to come up to the main roster, but at the same time, I'm kind of scared for them because, I mean, like, look what happened to Emma. You know what I mean? When she got to main roster.
Straight up, I kind of wish Paige just went down to NXT and they had better matches in NXT with her because the divas matches in the main roster are just shit.
Not nearly as good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think what's more likely is someone like Charlotte, who's been in NXT for ages, is going to finally come up to main roster and hopefully have a match feud with Paige, and like it'll be like no more shackles. Working with someone that's just as good as her. Anyways.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
I predict Naomi, I think, is going to get the title. I want Paige to win, obviously. But honestly, as long as Nikki doesn't retain, I'll be happy because I just think her being the champion for this long has just left the division completely stagnant.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I actually want Naomi to win.
Yeah.
Yeah. I as you said, I want the title to change hands. I feel like it's stagnating the Divas division, and I don't want Paige to win it yet. I feel like I want her to have a better story. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
I want when she finally grabs the title for her to be bigger.
I just want good things for my senpai.
No, because she's clearly the best wrestler. So
yeah,
like when Daniel Bryan won the title and how it was just fucking amazing, and I want to feel like that.
Drag it out.
Yeah, kind of drag it out and make it like she's the best. She clearly deserves it, but for some reason she just doesn't get it. She just doesn't get it, and then when she gets it, it's like yes, finally. Yeah. Unfortunately, I feel like Nikki Bella's gonna win it.
That's my fear. right.
I feel like it scares me.
Yeah. All right. Last match on the card. Well, the card as we're reading it, we have no idea what order these matches are actually going to be in.
Yeah.
Neville versus Bo Dallas. My money is on Neville. I kind of want Bo to win it, though. I want Bo to win it and this story between them to keep going for another few pay-per-views.
Yeah. I want if Bo doesn't win it, I want him to look really good. I want Bo to finally get a push or a
Yeah, I feel like this
something.
is Bo's chance to
to
be
shine
taken seriously.
Yeah, especially since Neville is so good and is looked at as like
Yeah, Neville is so over at the moment. He can
yeah,
take a loss.
exactly. He can take a hit, he can take a thing, and I reckon once Neville loses, he'll win the next one. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, longer story.
Yeah. But I kind of want them to throw a title in there as well.
Yeah.
So just to make it a little
like
more valid.
that'd be a good feud for the IC title. As it stands,
Yeah,
that's not gonna happen.
Yeah, I kind of wish that the
But-
cruiserweight title existed just to give it to them and like so that they could fight over it. But then, what else would you do with the cruiserweight title? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I kind of like it as it is because I feel like if there's too many titles, it kind of gets a little. If there's too many titles, every
Yeah, what you're saying.
title is undervalued.
Yeah, I kind of wish that Ryback and Truth weren't in the IC title, so that these two could be in it.
Yeah.
And then at one point, like the story just grows, so maybe the last two characters are Neville and Bo Dallas, or at one point it's like Neville and Bo Dallas, or Bo Dallas screws Neville and Neville screws Bo Dallas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I kind of wish that they were in the Elimination Chamber, and then like the story grows more from there rather than them just having a singles match. Because I feel like the singles match with John Cena and Kevin Owens is bigger because it's like champion versus champion. It's about pride. It's about This one just feels a little bit. They're both kind of smallish. They're both kind of new. Well, Bo Dallas isn't new. He's been around.
I feel like this. I feel like that's exactly why I'm looking forward to this match, because this is the chance for them to
shine,
to show everyone. You know.
Yeah. I want them to shine. Don't get me wrong.
I think if they incorporate,
I feel like it's gonna be the opener as well.
If they incorporate the NXT title in the sense like they're both former NXT champions, all that into it, I feel like that'd be good.
That would be cool if they put that they're both NXT champions, and maybe Kevin Owens or something has something to say like, "Screw you both, you're former NXT champions. I'm the current NXT champion. There's a reason for that." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe like you know what I mean? Like just put Kevin Owens kind of in the thing just so that he just trash talks them both and
put Kevin Owens in everything. That's what I say.
Fucking, I'd love that. Just put him into the Divas match. Who wins the title?
Every match
has the butterfly around his waist and then the NXT title around his shoulder.
That's an angle. Give him every single title. I love it.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, look, that's everything right now.
I think that's everything we're going to talk about. Yeah.
That's everything. Like us on YouTube, subscribe to us on Facebook, and tweet us on Twitch. I feel like those are all the things. If you want, you don't have to.
Find us on Tinder.
On Tinder, yeah, find us on Tinder. We'll hook up. It'll be fun time. All right, bye.